G'day everyone and welcome to the newest project on Shed to Beach. As you would have saw in the thumbnail, I've just picked up a 1984 YN65 Toyota Hilux, single cab obviously, tray back. This would have to be my favourite shape of the Hiluxes, full stop. The extra cab YN65 was my favourite of all time, followed closely by the single cabs and the dual cabs. I think just all the Hiluxes in this shape between 84 and 88 I believe are just the best shape Hilux is going. So yeah, she's a 1984 YN65 Hilux, 2 litre petrol. It's a 3Y motor, 5-speed manual, and I just thought I would bring it up to the back paddock and introduce you to it here, just because I've got another project on the go that I want to show you as well, which involves this little shack behind me, which we affectionately refer to here as the stockman's hut. But focusing on the Hilux, I've left it exactly as I picked it up. So it's got a couple of spare axles in the back, complete with diffs, freewheeling hubs. I believe the one on the other side's shot. He's already taken the good one off. This one's still good, the other side's buggered. But we've got 4 good split rims, which I'll probably clean up and use. Just a dirty old alloy tray that he chucked on it for the sale. So there's no rear tailgate, just got the 2 sides. 15-inch Sunraysia wheels, steel wheels. Some half decent Cooper Discoverer ST tyres all round. But anyway, I'll take you in for a closer look and give you a rundown. Alright, so she's a fairly straight old girl. She's got a few little dents in her. No rust. There's a few little patches where some rust's been removed and some body fillers been put in. But the plan is to do a full cab off rebuild. There's a few little imperfections in the panels, like little dings and that, but we'll get to all that. But the plan is to just make a really nice fishing and camping off-road weapon out of her. So already sitting on a little bit of a lift. I'm not sure how much, probably just a couple of inches by the looks of it. It's got what looks to be an ARB style, possibly ARB or TJM style alloy bull bar on the front. That'll stay for now. It does the job, and I don't actually mind the shape of those old ARB style bull bars on these old Hiluxes. I think they look pretty cool. So again, yeah, the 31s on the 15-inch Sunraysias. These side steps have got to go. Little homemade jobbies by the looks, but they'll be going very soon. I'll be doing away with these mirrors too. I really hate these mirrors. They are shit. You can never adjust them right. They're either rusty and don't move where you want them. This one doesn't feel too bad, probably because it never gets used, but the driver's side one is an absolute bucket of shit. So they'll be going. Yeah, the tray. This was just an aluminium tray that the guy I bought it off has picked up just to get it on the road, I think, because you can see under there it's got brand new bolts. It didn't have a tray on it when he advertised it, or when he sort of sent me photos of it saying it was for sale. It had no tray on, so he's thrown this tray on, which is good. It's got the 2 sides but no rear tailgate, but they'll be coming off. I'll be taking the sides off anyway, just running it as a flatbed for now. But you can see it's just whacked some cheap looking LED lights on the back and fashioned up some sort of bracket to hold the license plate on, so we'll tidy all that up. Probably get the spare out from under there. I don't like the spares being under there. And as much as I want to be able to tow with this thing, that tow bar just hinders the departure angle so much. I mean, how far it comes down. So yeah, we might have to look into that down the track. But for now, it'll be good for just around the property. But she's a pretty basic old girl. Give you a look on the inside. So manual everything, obviously. It's got some sort of aftermarket vinyl flooring. Aftermarket seats too. I'm not sure what these are out of, but they're big buckets, and they've been put on some makeshift brackets and rails, which I think actually raise the height of the seat, and it's quite hard to get into because you sort of jam under the steering wheel there. So be getting rid of those seats. I'm probably thinking, because I don't mind the old brown, the old 80s brown. I actually think it's more like a 70s thing, but yeah, there's a bit of cracking in the dash and that, so I'll either try and find a Surf or a 4Runner, like an 88 4Runner or something that's got a good interior, and pinch that. Or I might try and put an LN106 interior in here. I do believe that I've seen someone do a whole dash conversion from a 106, which looks good, and I might even try and get the seats out of the single cabs where you got the sort of the little extra bit on the driver's side, I think it is, or maybe it's on the passenger side that's got the little extra bit so you can seat 3 people. Not that I will seat 3 people, but so yeah, not sure there. Or I might just get 2 good singles and make some sort of center console in the middle, because I need my cup holders. But yeah, she's pretty clean, pretty tidy, you know, no major issues with the body, so I think she's a good base for what I have in mind, which is basically strip her back to the chassis, build her from the ground up with a new power plant. I'm not sure what we're going to do there either. I'm thinking when I 5 litre the VN wagon, I might take its Buick V6 and either put it in here and hook it up to the 5-speed manual, the Hilux manual, or I'll put the Turbo 700 in as well and run it as an auto. I'm not 100% sure what I'll do yet. Otherwise, I'll scrap that all together and just throw a V8 in there, which, I mean, you could go LS1, you could go keep it Toyota and get a 1UZ out of a Toyota Sora, or the Lexus obviously, but I'd rather get a Toyota one if I was going to go that way, just so when you pop the bonnet it's got the big Toyota badge on it. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll give you a look under the bonnet. Not a fan of this red. Like, I don't actually mind it as it is now, but it's definitely not the colour it's going to stay. And I'm a little bit torn with colours. I've got 3 colours in mind. And when I was younger and I first had one of these, I had one in an extra cab. I'll try and find a photo of it and throw it up for you, but I always wanted to paint it my favourite colour at the time, which was Holden Hothouse Green. It had just come out in I think the VY Commodores, and I love green, and green's my favourite colour, and that particular green, Hothouse Green, was just the sickest metallic green, and I wanted to have that extra cab painted in that colour, but unfortunately I sold it, silly me, and that was that. But I even I had some gear knobs that I wanted to put in it, and I had them painted Hothouse Green in preparation, but just never got the car done. But anyway, here's the engine bay. So we've got the little 2 litre 3Y motor, electronic distributor. It's an aftermarket carburetor. I'm not sure what type of Weber it is, if it's like a 32, 36, I have no idea. I'm not really a full bottle on carburetors. I wouldn't even say I'm a quarter bottle on carburetors, to be honest. Has power steering, thank Christ. That looks like it's been an afterthought as well. Like, this is power steering coming out of here and then going all the way over the makeshift engine fan shroud to the power steering pump on the other side over there. So I think that was actually pulled off something else and put in here. I don't think it actually had power steering to start with. And this bracket that the power steering pump is, or this pulley and everything's attached to, like, there's holes here. This just looks like it doesn't belong here. It looks like it's come off something else and they've just chucked it on. So, and there's a lot of that going on in here. Like, there's what else has been added? Electric fuel pump has been put on, and the owner said to me it's because that carby has a habit of draining the fuel back when it sits for a while, and then when you go to restart it, you have to crank it for ages to get fuel back into it before it'll start, so they've put a electric fuel pump in, which is mounted under here somewhere. Oh, if I can get down on the ground amongst the sheep shit. I did see it. Oh yeah, there it is there, that fuel pump. I'd like to do away with that if I can. I'd like to go back to just running it how it was. You can hear that fuel pump, it's noisy as hell, and yeah, you can hear it ticking away, it's just annoying. That's the mechanical fuel pump just there, and I'm not sure what's going on here, if it's been bypassed altogether, because I think that is the return line, and I think that's the feed, and I may be completely wrong here, but I think that's the feed line. That's the line going out to the carby, and then there's a return line which goes back to the tank, and it looks like this one hose has just been joined, so it either just keeps circulating within itself and the tank and never actually comes to the carby, because we've just got this one now running through this brass. There's a brass fuel filter inside this, and that runs to the fuel line going to the electric fuel pump. So yeah, bit of fiddling to do to get it sort of how I want it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this engine, because honestly I just want to rip it out and put something bigger in there. But it's got extractors and an exhaust on it, so they've tried their hardest to you know, get as much power as possible out of this little 2-litre motor, which is, you know, pushing shit uphill with this little thing. But it goes alright. It's got a few issues with the carby. Ran really well when I first picked it up, took it for a test drive and drove it for a while, ran really well. Then I had about a 5-hour drive home, so I filled the tank with fuel, got about 10-15 minutes down the road, and it started to run like shit. So, you know, repeat of the VN Commodore basically. I buy these cars, they look good, they run good when I test drive them, they run great for the first, you know, little while, and then bang, goes to shit. But that's to be expected really with these old, I mean, this thing is older than the VN Commodore by a good, 5 years, and you know, she's an old engine, so I can get a brand new carby for about $450, so I may do that. I may throw a new carby on it, just check that the contacts in the distributor are clean. I've already got new plugs and a new fuel filter, so we'll throw those on, because there's all sorts of shit going on here. Like the plugs, every plug that you pull off, like there's oil all around there. So I'm going to take these plugs out and see if there's actually oil, like a heap of oil there. See if there's actually oil yeah, on the plugs themselves, see what condition they're in. But we'll put new plugs in, I've got those. We'll make sure this is nice and clean inside the distributor, put a new fuel filter on, because when I filled the tank up, this car had been sitting for a while, and then I went and filled the tank up and took it for a big drive, so we could have picked up a bit of shit out of the fuel tank. So yeah, new filter. I've got some new fuel line too. Some of this says in the manual it's 6.3, but at Repco 6.5 was the closest I could get, so we'll see how that goes. But we'll put some new fuel line on, give the engine bay a good degrease. I don't want to get anywhere near that carb or fuel filter with the pressure cleaner. Probably shouldn't really pressure clean too much in here, to be honest, but I'm going to, and I'll just do my best to go gentle around the carburetor, and I'll take the cover of the air cleaner off, and I'll put some rags down the top, and then I'll put the cover back on, and then I'll wrap the air cleaner in some more rags, just to try and make sure we don't get any water down the carby. But yeah, good old girl. And I mean, like indicators, these corner lamps here, not hard to pick up aftermarket. Cab off, get the body all straight and smick, sound deadened. They have put sound deadener in it, so that's probably going to actually be a pain in the ass, because I'm going to have to get all that out to respray it when we do all the body work. some new bar work, side steps. I'm going to make the tray myself and haven't decided yet whether I'm going to go steel or have a crack at welding aluminium, because I can weld steel all day long. I'm a pretty good welder, good fabricator, but I've never dealt with aluminium, so that'll be a new experience for me. But I might give it a go, because I want to put a dog box just behind the cab and then have canopy the rest of the way, maybe even a rooftop tent. I don't know if you've seen, there's another Hilux getting around. It's bright orange, running a supercharged V6 Commodore, an L67. I believe his name's Drew and his missus' name is Michaela, I think. And he's got a little bit on YouTube, but most of it's on Instagram, and I believe they're called Chasing Tracks, TRAXX, I think. And he's done a great job of building a canopy on his car. Oh, the whole car's just wicked. His Hilux is awesome. But I don't know if you could hear that girl barking in the background, but I'll put a dog box on the back for her, and then a canopy, rooftop tent, bit of bar work going over the roof, spotlights, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've got a couple of pictures in my head of what I want it to look like. It's just deciding on the colour. Like I said, there's three colours. The hothouse green, which probably not the colour I'm leaning towards now, but it was just because I always wanted to do it back in the day and I never got to do it. Part of me wants to do it now just so I could say that I did it. But I actually really like Holden Devil Yellow. I think their VZ Thunder Utes were painted, and some of their Monaros maybe. Devil Yellow, and I love that colour on these old Hiluxes because it makes them look like the old Tonka trucks, and it's just a sick colour. I love it. So new wheels, maybe run 32s or 33s. I doubt I'll go 35s. I think 33s will be the biggest I ever put on this thing. My old one had 32s, and I liked the combination of the lift with the 32s. It just didn't look disproportionate. Like, these things can look out of proportion if you go too big with the wheels, and I find that, yeah, if you're doing a short wheelbase rock crawler like a competition truck, yeah, go 35s, no worries. But I think anything over 33s look a bit out of place on these, and you definitely don't want to lift them too high, because they have got the nickname Rollux for a reason, which is also, that leads me on to some other mods I'll do. I'll probably do an IFS hub swap, which brings widens the wheel track, the wheelbase. So I'll probably do an IFS hub swap and yeah, get it wider. I'll look into doing what they call a rear up front suspension mod on the front, which I think involves cutting off one of the hangers and moving it and welding it back on, so you can fit rear leaf springs to the front, because apparently rears articulate better than the stock or the standard front ones. So probably look at doing that. We'll just keep a leaf sprung. I don't see any need to go coils or anything like that. I want it to handle on road well. I don't need it to articulate, super well. I'm not a rock crawler. I don't do any of that sort of shit. I just want to go beach fishing, camping, and tackle some decent tracks. But I don't go out looking for tracks to test my four-wheel drive. I only go four-wheel driving if I've got a destination to get to. I'm not into just bashing the shit out of my truck to see, if it can get up this track. It's just, I don't see the point in it personally, but you do you. Me, myself, I'm only going out there if I've got a destination in mind, and generally it involves fishing, so can't wait to get stuck into it. So anyway, first things first, I've been rambling on for a while. For now, yep, get rid of those, take the sides off, get those dog ugly side steps off. Yeah, then we can start looking at some mechanical stuff. What else can I tell you about it? Really, not much. There's some big 6x9s put in the doors, little aftermarket CD player, Alpine CD player. The radio works well, even though this thing is broken and just rattling around in there. That'll come out. Yeah, that's a little bit of rust there, and I reckon if I take you around the other side, there's a spot in the exact same spot in this door that's already been worked on a little bit, right there. So there must have been some there as well, and they've already sort of had a bit of a go with that. But like I said, this will be a cab off. This is going to get done properly. I'll shut this bonnet, just bear with me a sec. Alright, so there is some panel gap issues going on here. Seems to be a decent gap running down this bonnet, and it gets wider towards that end. I don't know if you can sort of see that. Whereas on this side, really nice panel gap, so I'll have to look into that. But like I said, I'm hoping I can find a 88 4Runner wrecking that I can get guards, bonnet and doors off. I want the doors because most of them had the smaller mirrors that just mounted up here, which are the mirrors I want. Then I don't have to worry about welding in holes when I take these mirrors off. But a lot of them also had electric windows. The doors are all already be fitted complete with your actuators and that for the windows, and the trim's just nicer too. So if I can find one for the right price that's wrecking, it may even have some really good front seats in it, and we'll get those seats out and put the 4Runner seats in. There's this little girl that I need to build the dog box for, or Willow. Pretty excited about this one. So yeah, there she is. There's the Hilux. So anyway, like I said, I got you up here for a reason in the back paddock, and that's because I have another project that I want to get stuck into, which may be your cup of tea, it may not, but I really like these channels. Well, there's one called Fire to Fork. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but he's got a wicked channel all based on camp cooking. And we've got this little stockman's hut shack thing right up the back of our property, which is pretty run down. The sheep use it to sleep in and shit on, but the sheep are going. So once the sheep are gone, I want to clean this place up and tidy it up. I'll take to the roof there with the angle grinder and cut it off all even, and maybe even pull up the floor and relay the decking, get rid of this old bed and chair, and I don't know if that used to be a bunk bed or what the go that is, but I'll basically gut all that, clean it all up. Got the old pot belly here, which will stay. You can actually cook on that, which is good. So, and that's sort of the plan I've got for here. Got a bit of a fire pit area there, so I want to just turn this into a proper fire pit with seating. Get some big logs. There's already some big logs kicking around, but get some big logs around the place and carve them up with a chainsaw a bit to make them nice seating areas. Maybe put a big table, bit of a bar, and just have this whole area be like a place to come and yeah, just have a beer and a cook up and a bit of a get together. Middle of summer now, so everything's dead dry and it's real bushfire prone, but during the winter months and like spring, and once we get a bit of rain, we've got the big creek up the back here which fills right up and flows pretty much all winter long. Oh, there's actually still a little bit of water in it, surprisingly enough, down there, but yeah, she's bone dry here. But this creek is really nice during winter. The whole place transforms after a bit of rain. So yeah, a lot of junk here, like just old chairs. There's some steel over here, I think, some old roller doors. Just scraps from when the place must have been built. And I'll get rid of all that. Clean all this stuff up. Use whatever I need to use in fixing the place up. And the rest of it I'll get rid of. And yeah, like get rid of these tubs. I think they were here for feeding sheep. Get rid of these steel bed frames. And I mean, some of it I might use. I might use some rusty stuff. Like I said, I want to make just want to turn this into like a rustic, basically camping spot now, where we can come and have a big cook up on the fire pit. Get into a bit of slow cooking, like maybe even bring a Weber kettle up here and do a bit of that. But I really want to cook over the coals and the flames. And a big inspiration for that has been the Fire to Fork channel. It does a lot of cooking with like your Dutch ovens and just your cast iron skillets on coals. So stay tuned for that. I will be doing this place up. I will be documenting it. Yeah, so we got this project, the old Stockman's hut. Got the old 84 model Hilux, which is going to be a long-term project. Enough talking about that. Let's go get rid of those axles. We'll go dump them somewhere. We'll get these sides off. Tomorrow we'll take the side steps off and we will degrease the engine. Degrease all that, hose it down, and we'll replace the spark plugs. What else did I have? Oh, the fuel filter. Oh, this indicator. I'm pretty sure this front indicator is not working. so I've got globes for that. So yeah, we'll do that, do a little bit of work to it, and then we'll start diagnosing the carby.